Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ. I'm Prashant Mawani and the date today is 14th September 2017. Day is Thursday. Let's see what we have got in PIB. And before moving ahead, please allow me to introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses. Now dear friends, if you are preparing for SSC, UPSC, bank exams or other state level public service commission exams, then we have different pen drive and tablet courses for all these exams. This will help you immensely with your preparation, and if you don't have it, then I would recommend all of you to get it as soon as possible. The best thing about this pen drive and tablet courses is that you can learn with comfort of home from best faculties of India. They are thoroughly researched. The material that you get in this pen drive and tablet courses is of top of the range quality. If you have any queries regarding this pen drive and tablet courses, all you have to do is give us a call on this number, or you can also use chat facility that is available on our website, that is studyiq.com. Let's see what we have got, dear friends. First of all, allow me to wish every one of you from StudyIQ, from all my dear colleagues and from my side, a very happy Hindi Divas to all of us. Right, this Hindi Day is celebrated on this date, that is 14th September. It is celebrated across the country. On this day, President Mr. Kovind has given Raj Bhasha Award of 2016-70 in New Delhi. There was a function that was organized, and if we go back to the history of this Hindi Divas, then we find that it was in 1949 when the Constituent Assembly decided to adopt Hindi written in Devanagari script. Remember, it is Devanagari, so keep this in mind. Many a times you find this sort of questions in your prelims examination. I will also give you one topic from this. I will also give you one sort of food for thought, particularly for your essay writing answers from this topic. But before moving to that thing, let me tell you that if you go through the past papers, you find questions that are asked from this sort of items. Now, say for example, if you find a question, MCQ, multiple choice question, that which ministry or which department is officially responsible for languages in our country, the options that you generally find are provided in such a way that it will try, the options are definitely there to confuse you, right? They want to the UPSC wants to ensure that you have a good understanding of how things are working in our country. So generally what happens is you find options like information and broadcasting or IT and communication ministry. Then you will also find options like home ministry and defense ministry. This is just a rough example. Now what happens is, normally when we watch TV or when we are going through the newspaper analysis, then we find that it is home minister who is looking after all the internal, say for example, police department or the BSF or other paramilitary that we have, isn't it? Then we also know that if there is any sort of terrorism attack in our country, then it is the home minister who is responding to it. Many people, many from you as well, would be aspiring to become IPS officers, so you know that all your dealings will be done by home ministry. So these are the things. Naturally what comes in our mind is it could be either communication ministry or it could be information and broadcasting ministry, because these are the ministries that are dealing with language and broadcasting things and etc. So in examination setup, our mind does this trick with ourselves, and we in fact do this trick, and we say that of course defense ministry is not there, home ministry is dealing with all this security and all these issues, so it would be either out of communication or information broadcasting. And what we do is we go with the flow, we tick one thing out of these two options, and then when we come out of examination or when the results come out, we find that we were wrong. And many times we have seen that just for a small fraction we are not able to make it in the merit list. So keep this in mind, that Department of Official Language is falling within the domain of home ministry. That is one of the main reasons that we saw Home Minister Rajnath Singh when this ceremony was taking place, when these awards were given out to different people, right? So keep this in mind. It was President who was giving away these awards, but Home Minister was also present there. The other thing that President has said on this thing, and this is something related with your mains examination, he has said that it is good that we are using Hindi language for communication. He has also spread some benefits about Hindi language. No doubt every single language is beautiful language. It is the people who make this any language, right? It is the people who are speaking or using that language that makes them beautiful. President has also said that, and this is very important, that it is not that if the people who are not speaking Hindi, we should not treat them. Otherwise, we should not generate stereotypes and all this sort of hatred sort of things with the people who are not speaking Hindi. See, if we go to South India, then we find that we have in South India, they have their own language, and Hindi is not spoken that widely in southern part of our country. If we go to northeastern states, then as well we find that Hindi is not spoken that much in this part of the state. That does not mean that they are not Indians, right? This many times we find in the newspaper that this sort of crimes are taking place. People are fighting with each other because of different language. See, this is the beauty of our country. This is the diversity that makes India unique from different countries. If you go to Germany, then you will find that they are speaking just German language. If you go to England, then you find that they are speaking English. But if you come to India, then you find that you have thousands of language, right? We have thousands of language. There are so many languages. It is said that there are somewhere around thousands of languages that are mother tongue of people of our country. So this is the diversity, and this is unique in itself, isn't it? Nowadays many countries claim that we are metropolitan, we are cosmopolitan, we have this many people here, we have this many Chinese people, Indian people, Japanese people living here. But if you see the best example of people of diverse background living in under one country, under one constitution, then it is India. So we have to celebrate Hindi language, no doubt, but that does not mean that we create stereotype. Now, if anyone interested in learning language, the good news is that learning Hindi language, the good news is that President has launched a mobile application called Leela. Keep this in mind as well. This is important for your MCQ sort of questions. So Leela is a mobile app that will help you learn Hindi language online. So this is something, if you don't know Hindi, then you should give it a go. It would be definitely easy to use because government has used it, government has developed it, keeping in mind the necessity of many people. And this is not only pertaining to India. We know that today we have Japanese Prime Minister in India here, so of course it will help many other people who are interested in learning Hindi. We have seen how Sanskrit is been taught in Germany and in Russia. They are interested in learning Indian languages. So with the help of this app, it will help people of foreign countries as well to learn Hindi. And the last thing in this section is regarding Raj Bhasha. Hindi is also known as Raj Bhasha of the country. So for your MCQ, this is bit important. Now, Swachhta Hi Seva, right? That means cleanliness is the supreme service. This is a rough translation of this statement, and it is something that is going to impact all of us. And I would highly recommend, if you have time, if you have energy, if you have will, then I would definitely request all of you to take part in this thing. Basically, from tomorrow, that is 15 September to 2nd October 2017, there is going to be a Swachhta Hi Seva sort of mission for this 15 days. And in this 15 days, basically, or you can say this fortnight, everyone from president to common people, everyone can contribute, everyone can give their man hours to ensuring that their environment is clean. So everyone is going to take part in it. So definitely we should, as a youngsters, we should also take part in making our country clean. The biggest benefits of living in a clean country, first of all, is there are immense health benefits. Mosquitoes, right, one of the biggest killer. More people die of mosquitoes rather than AIDS and other diseases. More people die of mosquitoes, more people become poor because of mosquito, because we know that dengue, chikungunya, then you have malaria, this sort of diseases are #1 killer in our country. And this all things are taking place because we have so many filth and garbage and things like this spread all across our country, isn't it? After coming of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, things have improved. There is an awareness in the youth as well, but still we haven't achieved that result. Remember, it is the deadline of this mission of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is 2nd October 2019, and this was been launched by Narendra Modi. He himself, we have seen him cleaning the street, and on every platform he is promoting Swachh Bharat, because we would save huge amount of money out of it. We will make huge amount of money as well from it. The reason is that we can recycle all this garbage and we can produce energy. We can produce organic manure, which can help us keep our gardens and our fields, agriculture fields, flourishing. The other thing is we will attract more tourists in our country. If our country is dirty, if people if they travel everywhere and if they find that this country is full of filth, then no one is going to come here. In fact, our Bollywood films, they do go out of India because many places in our country are full of this dirt, so anyone would not like to project that thing in their in their screen of their film. So we would earn a lot. It would be developmental from all. It would be a step towards development from all sides. Now this basically the main objective of this 15 days is to mobilize people and reinforce a sort of Jan Andolan. That means a mass movement, right? When any scheme, any yojana, any plan, any mission gets successful only when people participate in it. If people are not contributing in it, then it's going to be a sheer failure. The other thing is, it is going to be officially launched by President of India on 15th, that is tomorrow, and it is going to be launched from a village called Iswariaganj, that is nearby Kanpur. People can also upload their pre and post intervention photos to share the things they have done in this 15 days. Another item, one of the most important thing that is going on in our country at present, is the arrival of Japanese Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in our country. We know how cordial relation both prime ministers share with each other. They do term each other as their best friends. They never miss any opportunity to meet each other at any platform, may it be United Nations Summit, may it be any other platform. They always ensure that if they get a time, then do try to meet each other and discuss about the things they can do together. Now in this context, bullet train is one of the most important thing that took place, in fact, right? The pillar stone or the brick has been laid. So this is one of the most important thing. We have talked about bullet train in detail, so I'm not going into all those details, but I will provide you some insights regarding, I will provide you some food for thoughts regarding your mains examination. Now before moving on to that thing, let me tell you one thing is that Japan is not only going to invest in bullet train. We know that it has invested, in fact, because it is a sort of soft loan. It is going to be, we have to pay it back in 50 years. 80% of the cost is bared by Japan. The interest rate is 0.1%. That is really cheap interest rate, isn't it? So these are the benefits that Japan is providing to us. It wants to sell its technology to us, and with this we are going to see development all across the board. But the other things that Japan is going to do is, say for example, now we have signed MCTR, right? Missile Control Technological Regime. So because of this, we would be able to supply our missile technology to other countries. Now the things that are going on in North Korea and the way China is being a bit aggressive with Japan, so Japan is also looking forward to purchase BrahMos missile from us. So this is a technology that we are going to give it to Japan. The other thing is that Alang shipyard, you might have heard about Alang. It is located in Gujarat, and this place is known for ship breaking. It is world's biggest ship breaking yard. But the good thing is now it is going to be one of the biggest ship building yard as well, right? So we would be building ships over here, and of course with Make in India there are lots of opportunity. We'll create more jobs, and the way pollution and all these things are going on, waterways is one of the most cheapest and most economical or eco-friendly, economical and ecological way to transport goods and people from one place to another, and it is safe as well because we have all the latest technology in this area. Now, so coming back to Japanese bullet trains, I have 3 important points. Based on this 3 pillars, we can analyze these things. See, the thing is, in your mains examination, you won't be asked questions on direct basis. The way things are going on in our country, we are, say for example, importing technology in civil nuclear area, right? We have Kudamkulam that was built with the help of Russians. We are in Andhra Pradesh. There is going to be nuclear plants with the help of American companies. Then we are also having discussion with French. We are also having discussion with Japanese people. So we are importing technologies. We are in the other context as well. If you go to other areas, say for example in Make in India, then we see that we are always ready to adopt some new technologies. We are in fact having a discussion with China to develop bullet train technology in different parts of these are the future projects, but things are going on, discussions are going on, and hopefully the way the Chinese bullet trains are a bit cheaper compared to Japanese ones, so we are looking forward to it as well. So in this context, whenever what you have to do is you have to analyze things. We have to see what are the things that will come out of it, and the more analysis you do, the more thinking you do by yourself, this will help you a lot. What we can do here, or what I can do for you guys, is I can provide you some good material. I can provide you some good insight in it, but the questions, as I told you, won't be of direct nature. You won't find a question that present your views regarding India-Japan relations, but you may be asked a question like on 21st century is known as Asian century, so what do you see or how India would be in near future or in long term. So you have to analyze it from all different contexts, isn't it? And you won't find this sort of questions, or you won't find this sort of answers in any particular book in the market. So it is something you have to do it by yourself. So in this context, if we see bullet trains, then we find that there are three pillars, right? One is economical. When I say economical, I mean to say, imagine when people will start traveling from Mumbai to Ahmedabad, then when you alight from the train in Mumbai or in Ahmedabad, then you will find that last mile connectivity like rickshaw, taxis, and then you will find many hotels as well where you can stay. So the whole economy, right, the whole area will develop as well, isn't it? Then you will have competition with the airlines, so they will also reduce their prices, try to make it at par with bullet trains. So in this way, more people will have two options, either to travel via train or get a plane. The other thing is that if you are a businessman, imagine then you can do up down as well. If you have, say for example, for 1 week, if you have to do something in Ahmedabad or in Gujarat, then in the early morning you can take a train, reach there. By the time you are traveling, you can do your work in your laptop or tablet, and then at the end of the day you can come back to your home and have a good night's sleep. So these are the things that will take place, and with this economical benefits are going to come. The second thing is technology. I have told you already about technology. When we will get this technology, when these things will start working, then of course it will be replicated in different part of country as well, and when it will be replicated or when it will be implemented in different parts of our country, then of course it's going to bring up, it will create more jobs, it is going to be financially and economically, it will bring more opportunities. The third and most important thing is that cultural change. When I say cultural change, I mean to say that, see, we know Japanese people, they work, the way they work, they are very punctual people. In fact, that even the train, if they get 2 or 5 minutes late, then you get a receipt. They will give you the refund of the whole for the ticket that you have paid for your travel. They will give you the refund, and they will give you a receipt as well, in which it would be written that this person is 3 minutes or 5 minutes late because of train was late, and you have to produce this to your employer or the place where you work. So this is the culture of Japan, and if they are maintaining this good, if they are this good with time management, then you can imagine their project completion time would be on time as well, isn't it? So with this, we know our country's culture. If we have decided to finish something in 2 years, then it will take 5 years. That's what has been happening for the longest period of time. So while working with Japan, we would be improved in this thing as well. So the whole project management culture of our country will change, because we will learn some good stuff from Japan. So this is the biggest change, or this is the biggest outcome of this technology transfer that we see from bullet train. Now, Japanese Prime Minister has said that India can play a vital role in ensuring the security of Indo-Pacific region. Here you can see this is Indian Ocean, and if you observe it meticulously, then you find that the position of India on Indian Ocean is quite strategic. From here you can, Perth is the nearest city from Chennai, right? From here it would be, sorry about that. So here, then if you want to reach Africa, then all these African nations are within the reach of India via Indian Ocean. All the oil supplies also do take place via Indian Ocean. So these are the things, right? And the Pacific, with you have Japan and other countries that you can connect with it, and this is one of the busiest route as well in terms of transportation and trade, Indian Ocean. So when Indo-Pacific when these two things merge with each other, then it is going to be synergy all across the board. All other countries that are developing at present, particularly the African countries, will benefit immensely out of the good relationship between Japan and India. So this is something that we are looking forward to. And the other important item I tell you is that when it comes to Asia-Africa trade corridor, India has a very good experience in working with African countries, and we know Japan is famous for its technology. So technology and experience together is going to create a synergy, and it will help develop the whole continent of, or particularly these countries of Africa that lie on Indian Ocean. So with this, there would be more trade opportunities, more employment opportunities, and in this way we would be able to develop this part of world as well. The other item that I would like to highlight here is that, see, the culture of Japan is such that when World War II was over, at that point of time, Japan was not well known for its quality. It was something similar what we know here commonly about Chinese quality, right? We know that whenever there is anything that is cheap and not so good quality, then we term it as that it would have been made in China. This was the similar image that Japan used to have back in time. And if you remember the song of Raj Kapoor, Mera Juta Hai Japani, then if you watch that song, then you will find that the shoe that Mr. Kapoor is wearing is torn, right? You can see his toes out of it. This was the image of Japan, but what they decided, they came to know about this thing, and then they decided that we are going to change these things. And what they did is they invested heavily. I'm using the word invested, right? It is not expenditure, it is invested. They invested in education of their people. They invested in skill development of their people. They invested in health of their people, because Japan is a country that is very tiny country. The other thing is that you have volcanoes, and Pacific Rim of Fire is over there. So you have volcanoes and mountains, so you have a very limited land. In fact, nearly 60-70% is not usable. So they have very limited land, and that is one of the reasons why Tokyo is one of the most populated and Tokyo is one of the most expensive city, because of land is very scarce resource over there. And Japan is not bestowed with all these natural resources that India has. So what Japan decided is it invested in the right thing, in human resources, and this is something very important for your economic understanding as well. If we invest in human resources, then the return on investment that we get is more than anything else. You may invest in land, you may invest in properties, you may invest in other items, but the return of investment as a country, right, the maximum that you will get back is when you invest in people. So this is something that will take place in our country as well. When we have strong Japan on our side, then it is definitely going to make India as a strong country as well, and it is going to work other way around as well. When India becomes strong, then it is going to be beneficial for Japan as well, because of the relation that we have with each other. Apart from that, there are 15 agreements that have been signed between both the nations, and the other important items is basically that the ties are not limited to bilateral relations or regional. It is about the whole world, and these are the other things that have been exchanged with each other. Of course, tomorrow we will, or in coming days, we will analyze it. We will come to know about more details, because once this thing will get ripe, then we will come to know. Now, based on the culture thing that I told you about bullet trains, I will also demonstrate, or I will also try to explain you how Indian companies, how they take innovations, right? And here is an essay question. It is: innovation is the key determinant of economic growth and social welfare. This was a question asked in your mains examination, and it is basically an essay. So where do we find material from it? We have to analyze things, isn't it? We have to see what is taking place in real world. Now, a couple of days ago we have discussed that Nitin Gadkari has clearly warned all the automobile companies that petrol and diesel cars or petrol and diesel vehicles are not going to survive for a long time. You have to make space, and the government will try it. Government will ensure that more and more hybrid and more eco-friendly vehicles are running on the road, isn't it? This was the thing. We know how situations are taking place in Delhi and other places. So definitely electronic vehicles are going to be the future, and we have the second in terms of interception of solar energy, we rank 2 after Saudi Arabia. So we have lots of opportunity for solar power as well. And in the same context, Smart E, this is a sort of rickshaw that you can see on your screen, has been launched in Gurugram, and the benefits, as you can see, is because it is running on electricity, it is going to be cost effective, it is pollution free, it will generate employment. As you can see, the lady is wearing a uniform, and she got a new job of riding rickshaw, so more employment. And the other thing is, if you alight from a sort of airport or from any other place like a railway station, then it can provide you last mile connectivity as well. Now, as I told you, the innovation, the way India is taking innovation, or in general the private companies, if you observe their advertisement, then you will find that whenever they are launching new vehicle, they will talk about that we are very innovative, we have used airbags, we have done this, that, etc. Right? Our cars are more safe, they are eco-friendly, etc. They are talking about innovation. We are always investing, we are looking for new talent, etc. These are the words that have been said by automobile industry. But when it comes to new technology, because they have invested heavily on this thing, we can understand they are resisting as well, and they are at present in denial mode. They are saying that the government e-rickshaw plan and e-trucks, the government has ordered some 10,000 electric cars, 50,000 electric three-wheeler rickshaws, and 10,000 buses, and this is not making this automobile companies happy. They are in denial mode. The companies who are at the time of launching product, they are saying that we are innovative. Now when government is talking about something new, they are saying that no, it is not going to work in our country, it is not going to be beneficial, it is not going to be economically viable, etc. People will lose job, etc., etc. These are the excuses provided by them. Now see, if we go through the figures and if we do a reality check, then we find that energy, in terms of energy efficiency, right, we know the petrol and diesel vehicles, they work on internal combustion engine, right? So the combustion takes place in a chamber, so we know about these basic things, so we are not going into that details. But the energy efficiency, the energy that you get from petrol and diesel, is somewhere around 16 to 21%. But when we compare it with electric motors, then we find that we get 90%. So this is quite good, isn't it? The second thing is that National Green Tribunal has recently said that one diesel vehicle causes pollution equal to 24 petrol vehicles and 40 CNG vehicles. Imagine how brutal diesel is for our lungs and for our environment. The other thing, that electric vehicles have some 25 parts, right? This may look large, but if you compare it with petrol engine, then they have some 2,000 moving parts, so wear and tear is going to be less. And the other thing is that battery prices are also going down. There is huge research going in this area, so it is going to bring down the price in future. And we know how Indian market is, the way our people are price conscious. We like less wear and tear, we like less repairing and all these things. So the economy as well, the benefits are going to take over, and future would be this thing. But from here you can imagine the innovation thing, right? How innovation can be beneficial, and now you can add all the points that we have discussed. Now they also say that it is going to create huge losses, but we can avert this if what we do is, rather than waiting for some other country to innovate these things, if we take a lead and if we produce something, if we come out with new innovation, that we can do all this copyright and we can have right over that invention. So in this way India has to stand up. At present there should be a sort of golden triangle between universities, between government and industry, right? This is the triangle. You can place university, government and industry wherever you like, it's fine. But as far as these three are interacting with each other, they are learning from each other, providing finance and support and things like that with each other, then universities can come out with some good stuff that can be used. And in this way we would create in fact more jobs rather than losing jobs. And there are research going on around the world in different parts, right? And we have to also ensure that air conditioning, these things are also provided. We have to also ensure that these vehicles are working in congestion environment. We know how congested our cities are, so we have to ensure this sort of things, and if we find the solution, then we would be on the top of the game. Moving on to another items, dear friends, future is of course going to be this EVs. So now enough for this one. Now Insaniyat, Operation Insaniyat has been launched by India to help Bangladesh. Now Bangladesh, we know that there are somewhere around 3 lakh Rohingyas, people who have migrated over there because of the things that are going on in Myanmar. So to help Bangladesh, to ensure that we are a good friend of Bangladesh, and to ensure that there is a smile always on the face of Sheikh Hasina, we have launched this operation. Indian Air Force is working tirelessly for ensuring that all the necessary items like food, medicine and mosquito nets is provided to the people who are there in Bangladesh. This is going to be a this will keep the relation going on. And last thing is that the Olympics of 24 will be held in Paris, and 28 is going to be held in Los Angeles. This has been confirmed by International Olympic Committee, and many times you find this sort of questions as a sort of GK, right, general knowledge based questions you find in many exams like SSC, banks, and of course in UPSC you find a couple of questions like this thing. Many times we find them out of the blue, or we don't know where they are coming from, but these are the things as well that we should keep in our mind, and we should keep our ears and eyes open for this sort of things as well. Right, with this, dear friends, I end this discussion here. Today we have stretched a little bit, 5-6 minutes more, but I'm sure the things that we have discussed are of immense importance, so you will forgive me for that. I beg your pardon for that thing. Now remember, do not forget to order your pen drive and tablet courses. Don't wait, just do it. If you think about it, then it's going to take ages, right? So do it as soon as possible. And you can download this lecture from our website and Telegram channel. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this lecture, share this PDF, share this video with your friends and family. It is not something that only StudyIQ or myself are promoting. It is a culture of our country. If you go back to history, we find that the term Nalanda is basically a Sanskrit word, but the translation is roughly that the flow of knowledge, or the river of knowledge, should be kept, should be allowed to keep on flowing, right? So this is something, a rough translation of Nalanda. So do that, and do pass me your valuable comment. If you like this video, then do give me your like as well. With this, I end this discussion here. I will see you all soon. Till then, enjoy your studies. This is Prashant Mawani signing off. Jai Hind.